Superfan Jeff is back a week early. He got his hearing moved up. How's Judge Simpson going to treat him this time? Before we find out, let's look at the highlights from his escapades in Judge Simpson's courtroom.
Is this Judge Simpson?
Chambers is here.
Are you Judge Simpson?
No.
Well, who is it then?
The judge is on the break. He'll be back in just a few minutes, okay?
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm a huge fan of Judge Simpson. I watch his YouTubes like nonstop.
Your Honor, I have serious concerns about this defendant following any orders, to be honest, given his behavior. I would also ask that among the court revoking the defendant's bond, I would ask that he be tested for drugs and or alcohol. He was not supposed to be doing either as a condition of his bond. I asked for an immediate bench warrant, although it was the end of the day Friday. That's when I got the communication from the victim advocate earlier that day before Mr. Ostermiller, I'm speaking. Do not speak.
No, like who
Mr.
are you?
Ostermiller, please stop. Please stop.
So, so the victim asked
Say who she is.
Mr. Ostermiller.
Mr. Ostermiller.
Boy, this does not go down this plan.
No. I'll tell you what,
I don't know
Mr.
who
Ostermiller, hold it.
He's
Mr.
speaking my
Ostermiller, you want to interrupt everybody else? You don't want to interrupt me.
Judge Simpson ordered Jeff to appear in person, and he was a no-show, so there was a bench warrant issued for his arrest. He was arrested the next day, and several days later faced Judge Simpson again, as he was being held with no bond.
During my last appearance, I was disruptive and extremely disrespectful to this court.
Judge Simpson scheduled his next hearing for 2 weeks later in order for them to make time for him to get fitted with a scram tether and also to establish some form of outpatient treatment for his substance abuse issues. However, his attorney, Ms. Silvana Reed, somehow managed to get him scheduled back on the docket 1 week early. So here we go.
Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people.
Silvana Reed, Assistant Public Defender with and on behalf of Mr. Ostermiller. As soon as you are unmuted, sir, could you state your name for the record?
Jeffrey Ostermiller.
Thank you. Your Honor, today is the date and time for sentencing in this matter. We were able to get this moved up, and we are very appreciative of that. We have reviewed all of the recommendations and would ask that probation's recommendation be adopted. We are very hopeful that the conditions that have been outlined will be very helpful for Mr. Ostermiller moving forward. And I have discussed this with his family, and everybody is understanding what is being expected of him and is hopeful that it will be helpful moving forward.
And Teresa Player on behalf of probation. Your Honor, the victim in this case, Melissa Mason, is present. She did provide a written statement to the court, however, is here should you have any questions of her. I do know that she is asking that the court lift the no contact order, and the court may have questions to her regarding that.
And Ms. Mason, is there anything you wanted to tell the court? First of all, I'll ask.
Not at this moment. I just want to ask that the no contact be lifted if possible.
All right.
And Your Honor,
Yes, Ms. Kirby.
if I may, I also am fine with the recommendation by probation, but I do want to just put on the record that there has been a lot of back and forth about what the needs and wants of the victim are. And I just want to make it clear for the record that the people do not want to switch back and forth of the no contact order. I do believe that Mr. Ostermiller, when under intoxicating substances, is a danger to her. And I want to make sure that he remains off those substances. So I do understand that he is going to be subject to random testing and will be on a scram tether. So I just want to make sure that he's aware that, and the court, please reiterate the no contact order.
Mr. Ostermiller, is there anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
The things that I've done that led me to this situation will never be repeated. I have absolutely learned my lesson.
Mr. Ostermiller, let me ask you this question. Even though if I release you with a scram tether, how do I know this won't be repeated where it may place Miss Mason in danger?
I am terrified to my absolute core of coming back to this place.
It's a sentence of the court. I'll place you on probation for 24 months. You're to pay $555 fines and court costs, $720 probation oversight fees. When can you pay that?
As soon as I get a job, Your Honor.
So that's what I should put here?
I'll be actively seeking employment the moment I'm released.
That's to be paid as arranged by probation. There is to be no use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal substance. You'll be subject to random testing as requested by probation. You are to complete a domestic violence program as directed by probation. You're to complete a substance abuse assessment, follow all treatment recommendations with status reports to probation. You are to complete a mental health assessment, follow all recommended care, including medication protocol. With regard to contact, what I will do is this. I'm going to order no contact with Melissa Mason at this time. You're not to go to the residence or employment of Melissa Mason. After we have the substance abuse screening and assessment, then Ms. Polera, I will reconsider that contact provision.
Okay, Your Honor.
You understand that, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I want to take a look at the substance abuse screening before I make a final decision on that. You are not to assault, terrorize, frighten, intimidate, threaten, harass, molest, or stalk anyone. You are not to possess any weapons, firearms, ammunition, or anything fashioned to be a weapon. You are to report to probation as requested by probation, including any home visits. You're to comply with all circuit court orders, if any. You are to begin and maintain employment or begin employment with proof to probation. You will be placed on a scram tether through community corrections that must be fitted and on you prior to your release from custody. I'll set a review hearing that's to be held December 4th, 2023 at 1 p.m. I'll order 93 days in jail, credit 23. You are to remain in custody until you're fitted with a scram tether, then the balance of the time will be suspended. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
This is horrible.